sponsors. It's time to start, enjoy the show. Give me your picks, give me your insights. I want the bets from Betting Weekly, because we win. That is our motto. Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't win. Don't give us the bird, don't give us a stink eye. We try our best, and we're successful. Come watch our show. Bet River sponsors. It's time to start, enjoy the show.
Well, a very good afternoon. Welcome to Betting Weekly Live with Dan Roebuck alongside me, Simon Holden. Over the course of the next half an hour or so, we're going to be talking Premier League football. We've got two more matches of the midweek slate to get through. We'll get some picks from myself and Simon on those fixtures. And we're also going to be talking golf, which is principally why Simon's on the show, of course, because it's the Hero Challenge in the Bahamas. Which has just about got underway, but Bet Rivers are betting in play, and there's some three balls that start over the course of the next 90 minutes or so. Simon, how are you? Great to see you.
Yeah, I'm very well, Dan, and lovely to be with you. Really is, yeah. I'm looking forward to today's show very, very much, and I know a lot of other people are as well.
Plenty of comments coming in already. Disky says, welcome all. He's talking about Steve again with that Wolfsburg play. Thanks very much for the selection. Duncan, afternoon all. Supplement Goucher says, good morning, gang. And Reese says, good morning, Dan. And Simon, we're going to get into the football first and foremost. What did you make of the action last night, Simon? Because Liverpool, with a little bit of a blip with that game against Newcastle, a 3-3 draw, Newcastle scrambling a point to halt that Liverpool juggernaut. And obviously the prices have changed. Arsenal now significantly shorter in the market after their win over Manchester United. The general consensus when we do the Premier League show is that we want to be with Arsenal, speaking to Jack, speaking to Nigel, and indeed Lewis when he does the Premier League show on a Monday live. What are your thoughts when it comes to that? Should we be backing Liverpool now? They've got a little bit bigger, lumping on Arsenal, saver on City. What do you think?
Well, the Manchester City corpse twitched last night, didn't it? It did. There was not, the medics are working on it, and they made it was sort of like Frankenstein's monster, wasn't it? They had to win last night, didn't they? I know that was said by Nigel, but I think we'll look back on that as the bet of the century, won't we? Eventually, that had to click. I wouldn't say it was a pivotal night in the Premier League. I'd say it was an important night. Newcastle were 1-0 up, and there was a chance with Anthony Gordon where he went through one-on-one. And I thought, if you score this, you're going to win. If you miss it, you're going to get beat. And of course, ended up being they got away with a draw. But it did rein Liverpool back a bit. I thought Arsenal were very, very professional yesterday against a buoyant Man United. As I say, the Man City corpse twitched. But the team, for me, I know that Nigel's been mentioning this, but I'm looking at the outright prices. I just think Chelsea are the forgotten team in this race. I thought they were superb. Look where they are. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win it, Dan, but I think they're a shade overpriced. I think everyone's got on the kind of Arsenal bandwagon, rightly so. Viewers of Bet Rivers will know I did my dough big style on Arsenal last year. Nobody was banging the drum more than me for them. And I'm not sure they've improved that much. I think Liverpool clearly have. Man City have obviously gone down. But is this Chelsea team improving enough to mount a serious title challenge? I think they might be.
Could be. Duncan reckons so. No one's talking about Chelsea. They just keep on winning. Duncan also referencing Liverpool, who says must be kicking themselves that they didn't see that game out. Stella the Light says, I think Fulham will smash it tonight. We'll get on to Fulham shortly. Time to go bold. 5-0. Reece says the Premier League show had me cracking up a few days ago. Well, we recorded another one for you today. A little bit of fun with that one as well, because we're all looking forward to the Christmas party, the Bet Rivers, but because we win Christmas party. Apparently it's fancy dress, Simon. You up for that?
I've already arranged it and trialing it, Dan. Of course I'm up for it. No one would wear a cardigan like this, genuinely, would they? Would they?
FGA football, greetings, one and all. Dave Clark says Slavia Prague -120 on the money line today. They are undefeated in the league. Yeah, we had a midweek round of Chance Liga games, didn't we, in the Czech Republic? Betting Weekly Studios, aka Nigel, says, where's Crouchy? We need another correct score pick after his magnificent 3-3 selection
That was
in the
sensational.
Newcastle-Liverpool game last night. Yeah, absolutely. Gator fan, what are your thoughts on Chelsea top 2 at +400?
Bet it.
It's an interesting one, that.
Go home, get up the next day and bet it again.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Top 2. I don't think Bet Rivers are listing top 2. Maybe it's a market they need to look at. But 4-1 Gator fan. I think they'll fall short. I think Arsenal will win it. I actually think City might come second. But it'd be interesting. FJ says, I did well on the Chelsea, Villa and Arsenal games. Right. We are going to get into one or two thoughts and picks when it comes to the action today. We've got 2 Premier League fixtures, of course. One coming your way 2:30 Eastern, the second at 8:15. The first is Fulham against Brighton here. Fulham at a +120. Brighton at a +205. It's 12th versus 5th in the Premier League here. Only 4 points between the pair, though, here, Simon. And Brighton have only lost to Liverpool and Chelsea this campaign in the Premier League. I mean, they're over $2 here. They could be a little bit of value, but the money has come for Fulham today. And 1 or 2 metrics, expected points I've seen, they are the 4th best team in the Premier League. What are your thoughts on Fulham against Brighton, Simon?
Dan, I have looked at this game and switched sides that many times. I think this is extremely tricky, by far the trickier of the two. Brighton have become a major force in the Premier League. And I do get the fact that they've struggled against Fulham. I also get the fact that people are saying that they perhaps overachieved this year slightly. But they are an excellent team, and they very rarely get beat, and they tend to only get beat by the very top teams. So with that logic, it leads me to think Brighton are the bigger price in a game I can't split. I was leaning towards them, but I think the draw's the value here. I really do. Fulham, I thought, were excellent against Tottenham. I really did. Do you know what? It was just, we'll come on to obviously Tottenham soon, but all the reports in that match said, classic Tottenham, they've gone away and smacked Man City up. They've turned up thinking they'll just blow. It was typical Tottenham. So unfair to the performance Fulham did that day. I thought they were superb. I actually think Tottenham played well. If you can't split them, back the draw, the oldest system in soccer betting, Dan. But I'm not really following that system. I've just and ahed. You can make a case for any of the 3 results, can't you, here? But I see it being a 2-all, 3-all even.
Yeah, if you can't split them, I mean, I'd rather go with Brighton at +205. I know Fulham have been backed off the boards here. David H says Fulham look like an Arsenal B team. Andrew Davidson says Fulham and Bournemouth both seem like wrong favourites to me. I agree with that, Andrew. I think you're spot on.
I can see that logic.
I have draw potential, but the 2 away sides both look a bit of value. You could look down that draw and away.
Fulham are too short now, Dan.
Potentially. You know, I think both of them are too short. Effie's been on, says Fulham money line, Spurs money line. Both very strong head-to-head against their opponents. Duncan says that Brighton's this season's Aston Villa. Betting Weekly says, Nigel says, we also had 5-1 Chelsea versus Southampton. Yes, we did, didn't we? Philly Guy says, just missed a massive goal scorer parlay. KDP, Madueke, Rodgers, Gordon, missed on, and Bumo, unlucky there for Brentford. I agree with Fulham draw. Brighton and Spurs is the value, says DCB here. Just to let everyone know, Brighton on the money line this season, +613 to level stakes. It's the second best record in the Premier League because they win those big games, Simon, don't they?
Yeah. What about both teams to score tonight, Dan?
I think that could be a bet. I mean, if you,
I think that's a bet.
I think it's a play. It's a plus money play. It's profitable. The 2 Brighton trends outside of the money line where you've made a profit this season are over 2.5, and both teams to score, yes. So I couldn't really put anyone off any of those 2. In terms of team news, Kenny is banned, but he's not a regular starter. He's a rare starter, in fact, but he did score against Spurs and then got sent off. Pereira might be back potentially. And in our YouTube section, on our YouTube comment section on the Premier League show, we had one of our viewers talk about Alex Iwobi shot on target. He's +107 for a shot on target. And we've sort of jumped on that. We've jumped on the Premier League show for the weekend as well. He's managed to get a shot on target in his last 5, including 2 in each of his last 2. And he's plus 107 to get a shot on target. Just the shots market, he is minus 122 over 1.5 and plus 229 over 2.5. And if you fancy him to score anytime goal scorer, he's plus 330. So Alex Iwobi, we're going to play shot on target market, just 1 or more at plus 107. You like the draw in this one, Simon?
I like the draw, and FGA Football just piped up with a 1-1, 2-1. I like the sound of them. I'd even pop in a 3-3. So I like the draw. I think there's going to be goals. I think you get these games down where you change sides, you change your opinion. The money line changes. You're tempted to not have a play at all, but leans me towards a draw when you can't split them. I do think the draw is so often under betting and value in these games, and there's other players, isn't they? Both teams to score. I think this will be a good game. I think this will be an attacking game.
1 or 2 notable wagers on this game as well. We've had 4-figure play on Brighton under 6.5 corners at minus 345. That's short. And we've had some notable wagers on the Bournemouth Spurs game as well, which I will get to. No first half goals in Fulham Brighton incident. This is a soccer special from Bet Rivers. Is plus 240 if you think it's going to be a little bit of a slow burner. We've also got some specials when it comes to the Copa del Rey action tonight. Atletico Madrid, Real Sociedad and Osasuna all to score plus 100. Just getting 1 or 2 bits of information through from our Bet Rivers colleagues here. So if you like all of the heavy hitters to win, we give you even money for that. Head to the Bet Rivers website for that particular special. And both teams to score first half of Lazio Napoli, which is a Coppa Italia game, plus 390 if you like that, which is a little bit bigger. And we've got Son to score for Spurs and Tottenham to win. That is plus 450. That's another special. Head to the Bet Rivers website for those. Let's get back to the football. We are going to be talking golf with Simon shortly, but Bournemouth against Tottenham to tackle next up here. Bournemouth plus 133, Tottenham plus 185, the tie plus 265. This is another game, Simon, where the market has changed an awful lot, because when I was looking at this yesterday, Spurs were around about plus 130 and Bournemouth were around about plus 180. So there's been an awful lot of cash for Bournemouth. And as Andrew pointed out in the comments here, I think Bournemouth are a good team, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there should be that short price favourite against Spurs. Admittedly, Spurs have got some players out. What's your thoughts on the Spurs game down at Vitality?
Well, I'm shaking my head looking at those prices, and like you say, yes, it's extraordinary change for a big team to be lengthened like that. I like Spurs tonight. I'm going to swim against the tide with this one. I don't think they were as bad as people said in the Fulham game. Like I said, I thought Fulham played really well. I thought they played well, and they can count themselves unlucky against Roma. And then we get back to the Man City game where they were simply outstanding. If they turn up play like that, well, it's going to be a very long night for the Cherries. And again, Dan, it's one of those occasions. It's what I call I've got your number. Tottenham appear to have the Cherries number, the Bournemouth number. Is it 1 win in 15 in all competitions, Bournemouth, historically against Tottenham? Not a stat that makes you want to get stuck into the Cherries tonight. I think this Tottenham side is classy, and I think that price has got too big. Yeah, they're carrying a few injuries, but they've got a big squad. You look at the Tottenham bench every game, it's full of international players. I think they might have too much class with Bournemouth.
They are carrying injuries. You mentioned that, still without a number of first-choice players. Obviously, Benton Corey's out suspended. Romero's still out with injury. First-choice keeper Vicario is out. Odeberry's out. Charlatan is out. Mickey van der Ven as well. So some significant injury issues for Spurs, but just at the prices, I mean, I don't really want to bet Spurs at plus 185, but if it was the other way around, I'd be looking at back Bournemouth and the tie. But as it is, I might be with you here, Spurs. They're a difficult team to get right. First goal scorer, anytime goal scorer, Ivan Nielsen. Jack Wright's got a good handle on the Brazilian on the Premier League show today, and he likes him at the weekend. If you like him to score at any time for the game this evening, he's plus 180. And Semenyo, who's back in the Bournemouth side after missing out because of suspension, he's plus 125 to score or assist in this one. Do we fancy goals in this one? I mean, the line's over 3.5 here, Simon. Do you think there's going to be plenty of goals?
I think I've got a Tottenham stat that they average, is it 2.5 goals in the Premier League this year?
You tell me, Simon.
Yeah, I said that as though it was a question rather than a statement, didn't I, Dan? Meaning if it was wrong, it was your fault, which let me check. I'm sure I've written that down. Yes, they average 2.5 goals a game this season in the Premier League, young Dan. If you want stats, come to me.
Don't worry about that. So if we add that to the Bournemouth numbers, maybe over 3.5 is the way to go. Where else have we got when it comes to the comments that are coming in on these two games here? Reece says, a lot of favourites been winning in these midweek fixtures. I think we're due for some dogs and some draws. It's a fair shout. Jake says, I'll lay Spurs at that price. Duncan says, just can't touch Tottenham matches when it comes to betting. How can they beat City away 4-0, but give Ipswich and Crystal Palace their only wins of the season? That is the conundrum with Spurs. Incidentally, if you backed...
Well, it is, but that's why you're getting that price, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is it. If you backed every single team against Spurs this season, you are nearly 9 points up in profit. It's the biggest in the Premier League. They are such a difficult team to get right. Dave Clark says both teams to score an over 2.5. Having that one, Simon? Both teams to score over 2.5.
I mean, if Tottenham win, do they go into 6th place, Dan?
They might do. You're the man with the stats.
That was another question comment. Let me check. I've got the table here.
I reckon they will do. I mean, it wasn't so long ago.
They're in 8th now. They will go into possibly joint 5th, depending what Brighton do. So they can't be that bad, folks. And, you know, we know that this is Tottenham. They carry a punter's wealth warning and always will. But that doesn't mean we can't profit. I mean, I backed them to beat Man City. Oh, I've mentioned it again. You know, so they are some people's friend.
Now then, we did have a comment about Christopher Nkunku, didn't we? And I can't quite find it, but we've just been handed some notable Wednesday winners and losers. I don't know if you're on this list, Simon, or not. But we had some significant plays on the Premier League last night. Nkunku over half a shot on target, which was minus 192. It's pretty short, but someone had $10,000 on it. Nice work if you can get it. $4,800 on Everton Wolves under 2.5 total goals, which is a loss. So the Bet Rivers boys kept the cash there. $4,000 on Liverpool on the money line, plus 112, which was a loss as well. Man City minus 175 on the Asian handicap, plus 107, which was a winner. Well done to you. And 3,000 on Brentford minus 1.5 live, minus 385. That was a loss. As Brentford, of course, were beaten. So we had plenty of bets and wagers on the Premier League over the course of the last 24 hours or so. Let's see what we are up to when it comes to the comments. Rich says both away teams are plus money on the draw no bet markets, which is madness. Are you saying, Rich, that that's a bet? I think you could be right. FGA Football says that Spurs defence dodgy on their day, but they can outscore anyone, as Simon was just saying with his goal scoring stats. And then we've got Philly Guy who says best bets for tonight. Lions game over 51.5. We'll get to the NFL for you shortly. Also likes Reed touchdown anytime plus 130. Brown touchdown plus 110. Jacobs over 71.5 rushing yards and William over 48.5 receiving yards. That's Philly Guy's NFL plays. And we'll run through the prices for you a little later. Andrew's back on says, I agree with Spurs' unpredictability. Would hate to be a bookmaker trying to price up their games. But yes, this is why we're getting that price. And it's just too big to leave alone. Completely agree with that. Dave says, good odds on both teams to score. Dave H says, Tottenham team goals over 1.5. At minus 120. So let's just nail our colours to the Premier League mast here. I know you're down at the Cutty Sark tomorrow, Simon, but we'll do a little bit of sailing ahead of it. What's your best bet?
The plank if these don't go in.
What's your best bets in the two Premier League games today? You're going to go draw Brighton. What are you going to go for the Spurs game?
Tottenham all the way. That's my bet of the two. That'll be the bet of the game I'm going to watch and focus on that. The other game I think is ridiculously hard. And I just say that about the point that was made. The time to avoid Spurs was the home game against Fulham.
I agree.
After they'd beat Man City. That was the time to not do your greenbacks. This is the time to get with them at this price.
Incidentally, we're going to get some NFL chat shortly, but Troy's been on, says 84% of the money, 77% of the tickets currently backing the Lions Packers over 51.5. And Philly Guy was talking about the overs as well in that NFL game. Now, you're principally on, of course, to talk golf. How's your handicap at the moment, Simon?
I am indeed. And if I get this one wrong, right, it won't just be Father Christmas getting the sack this Christmas, Dan, because this is a major bet for me, and people are going to have to be mucho prompto, as they say at Bet Rivers.
Okay,
Scotty Scheffler.
Just talk to us about the event. This is the Hero World Challenge.
Sorry,
Hero World Challenge.
My excitement to get people on, Dan.
We're in the Bahamas.
We're in the Bahamas. Well, we're not. But
world number one. This is a field that it's not a massive field, but any stretch of the imagination. There's only 20 go-to-post here.
Only 20 people here. It's the Tiger Woods Invitational, the Hero World Challenge. He hasn't been able to play, and as a quick comment, is it the beginning of the end for him? But that's for a separate issue. But Scotty Scheffler, in the last 3 years of this event, he has won and finished second twice. The person he finished second twice to was Victor Hovland, who ain't here. So there's nobody in this field that's been able to beat him in the last 3 years. And I just think he's a major bet. If you played this event 10 times, I think he'd win 8, possibly 9 times. So at plus 200, I think it's an absolute gift. Patrick Cantlay, you look around on the top end of the market, he's not had a great year. Justin Thomas hasn't won in an eternity. Ludwig Aberg's just come back from surgery. He didn't play very well on his return. Sam Burns has had a bad year. Sungjae Im's had a bad year. I genuinely think I'd be staggered if these people can beat him over 4 rounds. I really would. I think Christmas has come early at plus 200, but you'll have to be quick. It has gone in play, but Scheffler's out in one of the last 3 groups, so we can't really see that the price won't be there.
One thing you can always guarantee, Simon, with Scotty Scheffler is that he's going to put a shift in, because to a certain extent, traditionally this was the off season for golf, and a lot of the big names didn't take invitational events as this once was particularly seriously. But we know that whenever Scotty teases up, he wants to win. He's won 8 of his last 15 starts. I mean, this is Tiger Woods at his best stats, isn't it? And
they are events with 136 players on. This is 20. And the interesting thing is, you're right to say this is the last event of the season. But he, a tailor-made player like Tiger Woods, is obsessed with Tiger Woods. And he said a couple of times in interviews, I make sure I am 100%. I want to win his event. So there's no way he's going to come here undercooked. He wins it in a second and third round. He'll try for 3-4 under tonight. And then we look like last year. He broke their hearts. He was well clear, and he coasted in with the 16-8 on the Sunday. I actually think not only could he win, I think he could do a number on this field.
There's a lot of debutants as well, isn't there? You wouldn't say it was a strong field when you look at some of the players that are a little bit bigger odds. I mean, you can't get too excited maybe about the likes of Aaron Rai or a Sathi Tigala, 1 or 2 that are making their debuts, Robert McIntyre as well. When you look at his price there, you think, well, you really need some bigger hitters, some heavy hitters, some classy players to try and put the pressure on Scotty Scheffler, There's not a lot there in terms of strength of depth. Justin Thomas maybe should have won the Zozo Championship last time out, finished second in that one, didn't he, Simon? Would he be the best of the rest for you?
Well, I like him in tonight's two ball. I will say that.
Okay.
However,
we'll have a look in a minute.
Yeah. His putting stats on the PGA Tour this year, Justin Thomas, he is, would you believe, Dan, 175th. Oof. Now, you and Nigel Seeley, I've seen your putting action, and he's asked if you can share coaching duties for next year. That's how bad this guy put. Now, do you really think over 4 rounds, the 175th best putter is going to beat Scheffler this week? I can't see that.
So Scotty Scheffler we're putting up, and we just got
better of the year golf-wise.
Better of the year, coming late in the year, but that'll do. These are the 2 balls that are getting away very shortly indeed. So the first of these 2 balls is getting underway at 12:14. These are the last 3 2 balls that go out. So we've got a little bit of a quick fix. You can cash tonight if Simon can give us a winner or 2. We're just listing the last 3 here. The Scheffler one is 12:15. The Wyndham Clark one is just after 12 Eastern time. And JT is out at 12:25 Eastern here. What are your thoughts on these late two balls, Simon? Any value to be had when it comes to Clark versus Cantlay, Scheffler versus Tigala, or Justin Thomas against Keegan Bradley, who surely even now will be starting to think about the Ryder Cup because he's been named as captain, of course, Simon?
Exactly. As his focus completely changed. Right, let's see if we can land these three. Wyndham Clark played in this last year. He was absolutely dreadful and gave an interview that he thought he just could not get his head around the place. He hasn't impressed me really. A lot of people thought he would go on this year, and he's actually reduced in a lot of his stats. Patrick Cantlay has had a mixed year, but you know what you're going to get. He's going to hit you 3-4 under. He's just a top class player. I think at -120 is a bit of value with Wyndham Clark's not liking the course. Scotty and Sahith Theegala. Now, ironically, the great swashbuckler has got 5 par 5s here. Sahith Theegala, the swashbuckler, he could put it up to Scheffler today, and Scheffler could still win the event easily. That's the Russian roulette aspect of one-round betting. But he hasn't played it before. He will like the amount of par 5s, but I just think Scotty might have a bit too much nous for him. And of course, you've got the mental side of it as well. He's playing with the number one in the world. A lot of players just freeze up and tense up a little bit. And then JT, you're right, he's got good recent form. The best wedge player there is in the world on these par 5s. If he doesn't reach, you know that third shot's going to be like banging. And Keegan Bradley's had a great 18 months, but now he's the Ryder Cup captain. Is he practicing as much? He's got so many demands on his time. I think he's somebody that you can go after in these 2 and 3 ball events. Now, he wants to play a full schedule for the first 4 or 5 months of the year next year and then concentrate on the job in hand. But I just think he's going to have a fully focused golfer is one you want to take on. So we'll go with JT at -137.
So JT -137. Scotty, obviously, we've got to go with at -200. And we're going to go with Cantlay at -120.
Oh, yeah.
Those are our 3-2 balls. So you'll get paid out tonight. The parlay, incidentally, is around about 3-1. If you want to flow Simon in on the last 3 out, Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas, we're playing the parlay at around about 3-1. We're hoping for Cantlay, for Scheffler, and for JT to come good. That's the golf. Lots of you tuning in for the football, as we appreciate. The Premier League show will be available very shortly indeed. Myself, Jack, and Nigel talking our way through the weekend card. Before we depart, we're just going to have a look at the NFL action that is coming tonight, because I've been given some information regarding some splits, and we've had 1 or 2 of you with messages regarding the action tonight, looking at overs more than anything else. You can see it's the Packers at the Lions, +150 on the money line for the Packers, -182 the Lions. The spread there is +3.5. Packers get the start, -115, -106, -3.5 there for the Lions. And the total points, 51.5 is the popular line, -110 either side. Dunker's been on, says the trouble will hopefully get us all to the Bahamas. Yes. I love going to the Bahamas when I get the chance. Lovely holidaying resorts. These are the splits and some trends when it comes to the NFL. Now, in each of the Packers' last 3 games, the first score has been a Packers touchdown. Packers have won the first quarter in 8 straight games as underdogs. 9 of the Packers' last 12 road games have gone over the total points line. Philly guy was talking about the total points line. The Lions have covered the spread in 7 of their last 8 games as favourites against the Packers. And 1 or 2 prop stats as well for you. Josh Jacobs has recorded 101 or more rushing and receiving yards in 5 straight Thursday games. Jared Goff has thrown for 2 or more touchdowns in 11 straight home games against NFC North opponents. And Jameson Williams has recorded 79 or more receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 home appearances. With that in mind, Jacobs anytime touchdown -159, Gibbs anytime TD -157, and Gibbs over 64.5 rushing yards -127 might be the way to play it when it comes to the NFL. We are missing Shakespeare's Play, who usually pops up late in the show to give us his thoughts on the NFL action tonight. Philly Guy's the only one who's come in with some thoughts, which is over
Come on,
51 and a half. Come on, Shakespeare. If you're with us, let us know. I don't think he's with us, is he? Finney's back on. We got his comment back on as well. So that's the football, the golf, and the NFL for you tonight. We're going to wrap things up. Simon, we are on duty, of course, for the Christmas do tomorrow. You are heading to the Cutty Sark, aren't you? A little bit of cult. I can't make it because I'm on live show duty. You're going to the Cutty Sark with Nigel and one or two others for a bit of culture.
One or two and Steve Wiss, yeah. And we may be, and I don't want people to get too excited, we may be doing some video content from there about the weekend.
From the Cutty Sark. From the Cutty Sark.
I don't know whether we'll be licensed to be, on the plank, or I might push Seeley over the way I'm feeling. But only a bit of fun, obviously. Yeah, and we won't do any videos to continue the golfing theme if anyone's too loop list, as they say, Dan. So look out. I definitely will post some pictures on the old Instagram. Don't forget that, folks. Sign up for that.
Great stuff. Yeah, we'll have one or two pictures here as well. Shakespeare's back on just in time. Green Bay. Green Bay +3. Shakespeare's come on. So if you're following Shakespeare, and he was brilliant on the baseboard earlier this year, he likes Green Bay.
Do you know what, Dan? Just quickly, I was in Waterstones, which is a top British book company shop, and as we say, and there was a big book, and it said Shakespeare's Plays, great big book, and I thought, God, he's had a lot of bets, hasn't he? Yeah.
Well, you never know. Simon, been an absolute pleasure. Nice to have you on the show. I will see you tomorrow.
One of the best ones we've done this time.
I think it's one of the best ones we've done. We had brilliant live comments from everybody. Reece says, have a Guinness for me. Cheers, boys. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be starting out. I'll be back on with Roy. We're going to talk Spanish football. Good luck with all your plays in the Premier League tonight. It's been a pretty profitable couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Jack, let's keep it going. We've had a good session on the midweek round as well. So let's hope we can cash a few more winners. But from myself and Simon, for now, that is your lot. Hope it goes well for you this evening.